told what's healthy for years. We see the labels: low fat, organic, high protein, sugar-free, and trust that these foods are good for us. But what if everything we thought we knew about healthy eating isn't entirely true? Could some of these foods actually be making weight loss harder instead of easier? Let's take a closer look at what the research really says about these so-called healthy foods and whether or not they're actually helping us reach our goals. Hey everyone, welcome back to Nene on GLP-1. If you're new here, I'm Nene, and this is where we talk about the real side of GLP-1, weight loss, and everything they don't tell you. For years, I believed in certain food rules. I followed all the advice I thought was going to help me. I cut out sugar. I avoided junk food. I picked the brands with all the right labels: low fat, high protein, organic, clean eating. And yet, I still struggled. I hit plateaus. I found myself hungry even after eating. Some days, I felt exhausted for no reason. And no matter how healthy I tried to eat, something wasn't working. And then I started questioning everything. I knew something wasn't right. I was eating clean. I was following all the advice I had been given. But the more I looked into the science behind food, weight loss, and metabolism, the more things weren't adding up. A recent study from the National Institute of Health found that ultra-processed foods, yes, even the ones labeled as healthy, can actually override our natural hunger and fullness signals. The study showed that people who ate more processed foods ended up consuming significantly more calories without even realizing it. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed that many of the so-called healthy options in grocery stores contain hidden sugars, refined oils, and artificial ingredients that can lead to blood sugar crashes, cravings, and stalled weight loss. Even more surprising, research from Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health found that people who focus on consuming whole, unprocessed foods rather than counting calories lost weight more effectively and had better metabolic health in the long run. And that's when I realized that some of the foods I thought were helping me lose weight were actually doing the opposite. Let's start with one of the biggest offenders: granola. I know, we all love them. Granola is marketed as the perfect healthy breakfast. It's made with oats, nuts, and sometimes even superfoods like flax and chia seeds. It's supposed to be a clean, high-energy way to start your day. But here's the problem. Most store-bought granola is packed with added sugars, processed oils, and way more calories than you'd ever expect. I used to pour it straight into my yogurt, thinking I was making a smart choice. But when I actually looked at the numbers, I realized that granola is basically a high-calorie, sugar-loaded dessert disguised as healthy food. And if you think that's bad, wait until you hear about this next one: smoothies. Yes, smoothies, the drink we all associate with health, wellness, and fitness. But here's the part they don't tell you. Most smoothies are packed with hidden sugars, fruit juices, and unnecessary carbohydrate that spikes your blood sugar and leaves you starving an hour later. That means that even though you just drank a 400-calorie smoothie, your brain doesn't recognize it as a meal. So what happens next? Your blood sugar spikes, your insulin response kicks in, and soon after, you feel hungry again. And I wasn't the only one experiencing this. After I started paying attention to how I felt after eating, I realized my healthy smoothies were leaving me just as hungry as before. And now, let's talk about the biggest food myth of them all, the one that has shaped an entire generation's eating habits and is still causing problems today: low-fat foods. For decades, we were told that fat is the enemy, that if we wanted to be healthy, we had to cut out fat as much as possible. And so, we swapped out full-fat yogurt for low-fat versions loaded with sugars. We ditched regular salad dressings for fat-free ones filled with artificial additives. We replaced whole foods with processed low-fat alternatives that were anything but natural. But here's what they never told us. When food companies remove fat, they replace it with sugar, processed starches, and artificial chemicals to make up for the lost flavor. And this is where I had to completely rethink my approach to food. Because fat isn't bad for you. It's essential. Fat keeps you full for longer because it takes more time to digest. It regulates your hormones like leptin and ghrelin, which control hunger and fullness. It supports brain function, energy levels, and metabolism. And suddenly, I wasn't hungry all the time. My energy was better. I felt more satisfied after after meals. I had spent years avoiding fat, thinking it was the enemy. But the truth, the biggest food lie we've ever been told is that eating fat makes you fat. It's not fat. It's the combination of refined carbohydrates, processed sugars, and artificial junk that messes up your metabolism. So what's the takeaway here? You can't trust food labels. You can't assume something is healthy just because it says organic, low fat, or high protein. And most importantly, you need to pay attention to how your body actually responds to food. I'll be sharing a video soon that dives even deeper into how to actually eat for fat loss without falling for these common traps. So if you're ready to cut through the confusion and get real practical advice, check out my What I Eat in a Day on GLP-1 video. I've linked it in the description below. Go watch it. But now, I want to hear from you. What's one food you used to think was healthy but later realized it wasn't? Drop it in the comments below and let's talk about it. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real, no-nonsense weight loss tips. I'll see you in the next video.